the cliche thing of weather, talking about weather. We're not going to talk about weather.
No.
This is just your like segue into start.
Sunny and rainy.
What?
That's what the weather's like.
Why are we talking about the weather?
Because we were talking about it being sunny.
Talking about weather.
And you wore shorts. Which was actually a good shout, because I've been out since about 11 o'clock and it was all right. It was quite windy.
I'm wearing shorts all the time at the moment. There's water there if you like.
Yeah, are we rolling now?
That's the we're rolling.
Oh, great.
We try and roll without you knowing we're rolling.
I
Otherwise...
was thinking I'd rather just not know.
yeah.
Well, you asked. Actually, yeah.
I just want to know, but are we rolling?
Start again.
yeah.
No, it's good. Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
This is the first time I've brought water.
Yeah,
so
I
feel privileged.
Everyone's been gasping up till now.
They talk for an hour and they can't talk by the end of it.
Yeah.
So I think the last episode, and I know we try and do it as fluent as possible, but Laura didn't actually mention her name once. So I think it would probably be good to have a short where they actually introduce themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you just like your name and where you work.
Don't make it awkward, but just
that's it.
No pressure.
I'm Alan.
Full name?
Yeah.
When we get in the flow of it, we'll need some sort of jingle.
Salisbury Business Podcast. Salisbury Business Podcast.
Why, just off the cuff?
Yeah.
Did you just think of that?
What is that though? Why
I'm kidding. It's shit.
Obviously, I'm the owner of the workout lab. So we've been open for sort of a year and a half nearly now. So yeah, it became really well. I was a personal trainer in the local area before that.
Whereabouts?
I was at Sports Direct.
Nice.
Just working in the commercial gym there. That place shut down.
Just before you started the workout lab.
Well,
Was that like a moment?
It was complete luck, but I sort of was planning to leave, and then in December, they said the gym's shutting down. So they told the staff at 3 o'clock and the members at 4 o'clock. On that day, it was gone. And
what, as in like 2 hours later?
Yeah, it was literally 10 o'clock. It was shutting down. So but I already had planned to move to Brown Street over there, and people sort of saying, "Oh, you must have known," but I generally had like no idea. So pretty lucky on my timing with that one. But
so did you go straight from Sports Direct to Brown Street then?
Yes, yeah. So I was over there for about 10 years, but I was planning on leaving in January anyway.
Oh, okay.
So I had a plan, but like I said, I didn't actually have a clue they were shutting down on that day. But then I opened up about 3 weeks later.
Nice.
So
how long had you been planning that one down? How long had you been planning the workout lab?
About 7 years.
A
long time in my head.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where you think about it all the time, and searching on Rightmove, trying to find the best commercial property and stuff. But I'd been planning for a long time, to be fair. But I was looking, probably September time is when I looked. I sort of thought, I've just got to have a look at this place, and then I just knew instantly that place on Brown Street was for me.
Why is that? Because it's just in the little. There's something next to it. Haven't you got something right next to you?
Yeah, Mr. B. Yeah,
is it
little key shop.
Nice
little independent business there as well.
Because it looks quite good plug.
That was going to be my one later.
Hold it back.
Someone else now. Yeah.
And don't do a Luke Donahue and say Nando's, which is fantastic. He's always going to get ripped for that one. Love you, Luke, but that's terrible.
Yeah.
It looks quite a deceptive space, no? Like it looks small, but then I've not been in, but it looks like it goes quite long and deep. Would you say?
Yeah, it's not massive. Obviously, the cost of having a space in town is quite expensive. So, but initially it was only going to be sort of me in there, so I didn't really need loads of space. But I wanted to make sure there was enough space to have what I wanted and have a decent amount of equipment in there. But obviously now there's like 6 of us, so the space is a bit.
Most of your stuff is one-on-one, isn't it? Like that's what it was beforehand.
All one-on-one. Yeah, we do a couple of group sessions, but
So I suppose at that point when you moved there, you didn't really think you needed all that space.
No, I generally thought it was just going to be me, And then,
so how do you fit all 6 in then?
Well, we just sort of, sometimes a bit hectic, Supposed to be a quiet studio, but...
Chuck it over.
We've got our diaries, and we just make sure we can fit like 2 or 3 trainers and clients in at once, but we've got some trainers come in the evening. I start 6 a.m. in the morning, so we just make sure we don't sort of lap over. But there has been a few times where it's been like, okay, there's a bit too many of us in here now.
Yeah, so there's the times that I follow you on socials and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So the stuff that I've seen, I think I've only seen 1 or 2 different people. So did it kind of jump to 6 pretty quick, or?
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
I assume this is 6 trainers, right? Like, so 6 people doing personal training with people one to one. Right, okay, fine.
So
gotcha.
it was initially just going to be me, but obviously as I was over at Sports Direct, a trainer called Scott, he had nowhere to go either. He had a bit of his own client base, so he came over, and then it just got busier from there, really, to the point where I was fully booked, he was fully booked, and then I still getting quite a few inquiries. But I mean, before I went over there, I would had quite a loyal sort of client base anyway. So my diary was quite busy. So that was a good start. And then he was busy. And then we got Joel in. And then it just sort of carried on until now we've got a new girl called Ellie, who's just started. So I don't think we can fit any more people in now. But
and so which one is the WWE?
I knew you were going to ask that question.
Wrestler.
I knew it.
Only because
I'm sorry, I've got to shut this down now.
only because obviously, like we try not anyone who listens will know we try not to like force it too much. And but like the first thing you do when you type in your name, it's like
it's a good story.
It's a Salisbury Journal article from like 4 days ago, and then it says like
the headline was like personal training studio plus wrestler or something, wasn't it? I was like, oh,
The Rock.
Yeah, it is. It's actually The Rock. No, his name's Joel. He was in WWE quite a few years ago. He was the first NXT doubles champion. He's gonna love this. He's gonna love this.
he's gonna love it.
But yeah, he also
did you talk about me?
Yeah, I know. That was the other independent business I was going to.
We've done it for you.
But yeah, he's really good. So he does that and he does his wrestling, but he runs shows in Salisbury as well. So
the wrestling shows.
Yeah, in the studio theatre. Yeah.
Oh wow! I don't think I've ever.
I'm definitely plugging him a bit too much here.
30 seconds and we'll cut it.
Yeah, that's it. The studio theatre. On Butts Road, so there's one in July I think coming up, and
nice.
Yeah, it's quite a cool story. Yeah, maybe they just come to the lab for him. I don't know. But
one of Patty's friends.
Yeah,
that's cool. Okay, well enough about him.
Yeah, that's all right.
No, that's it's cool. I guess it's. Did you know that? Because I think you've got have you got a lady called Julie who you look after?
Yeah.
Is it a client of mine? So
is she? Yeah, I was talking about that. Yeah.
I was thinking that's the mutual link. But so I know she's posted because she always used to post on her Instagram about kind of being at Sports Direct, and then obviously plugs over there. Did you have like people like her who you knew realistically that would come over?
Yeah.
So you'd have a base that you knew you could grow from.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't know exactly the percentage of people that would come over. But I knew a good percentage.
I suppose given that it was closing.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, that's your audience.
Yeah, so pretty much 99% going to. But yeah, someone like Julie, I've been training for like 8 or 9 years. And I've actually got a client who trained 14 years. So I sort of knew.
It's a loyal thing though, isn't it? Once you get someone that you...
Yeah, you kind of need that like trust, and because it's quite a personal thing, isn't it? Especially the one-to-one.
It is, yeah. And normally when they've been working you for a long time, they stay with you and stuff. But not everyone stays for like 14 years, but that's
probably just because they're moving, like leaving Salisbury, and
So I don't know. Do you have people that do it for a certain amount of time until they reach their goal, and then
we do, yeah, because we sort of have people that do like 12 weeks, but then you do find those people that stay for a long time. I mean, personal training is a luxury at the end of the day, so normally it's the first thing that might go if they need to, I don't know, save money or something. But
makes sense.
But then you do have some people that really prioritise their health and fitness, and they don't mind spending the money on that, rather than spending it on other stuff. So
So that's really interesting, because I'm intrigued on your views on, and I'm probably guilty of this, to be honest. Like I'll go through peaks where I'll get into really good shape, and then 6 months later I'm 10 kilos heavier, and it's like, why do you think we have this, especially in the Western world? Why do we have such a weird relationship with health and fitness, especially as business owners? Like, it's the first thing. Like, if I've got a really busy day, I'm like, right, which if I'd forgotten about this tonight, so my bad. But I was thinking, I'll get home, I'll go for a run, or I'll go to the gym. And then the first thing that goes when an email comes in that needs answering, it's like, I'll sack off the gym. Yeah, and it's like, why is that? Because I know that's not just me. Because otherwise, I'd be the only.
No, we all do it. Yeah, I think it's hard, isn't it? It's just like prioritising your time a little bit, isn't it? It's like sometimes it's different.
No, I'm guilty. I'm really bad for it.
No, I am as well. When you're busy, it's like that will always be the first thing that seems to go. But what's it's hard. And also if you just I think if you're just training for that aesthetic look or something, you're trying to lose a bit of weight, and as soon as you sort of hit that sort of milestone, you sort of maybe lose a bit of motivation. But if you can understand it's a bit more to that, like for your health and well-being and your mental health, then actually you could probably push through and carry on. But I think sometimes when people just focus on, not that you do, but like aesthetic looks, they hit a goal and it's like, okay, now I've hit it. What do I do?
Yeah.
So
I
that's definitely your focus normally.
Well, yeah, no, I always have done it for aesthetics, but you're completely right. I think now I'm starting to, as you get a bit older, you start thinking, I'm 35, and it's like, 35 next year, and you think, oh God, like if I keep doing this when I get to 40, it's going to then be harder to lose it. If I keep doing this,
it does really get harder to lose it. When
and again, if someone said to me, I don't know, like you're training for a film, like these A-list actors, they literally get PT twice a day, they get meals cooked for them. Politely, we could all do that. That's circumstance, right? Still impressive, but I feel as though we could all give that a good go.
Yeah. As you get older, like say your priorities change, don't they? Like, before, when I was sort of like early 20s, I was training like twice a day. And then I obviously had 2 kids, opened up the business and stuff. It's like, probably just slightly changed, I think. And
even in your city, you're like, I've got to do the accounts tonight, or I've got
exactly.
I've got to do that, and it's like workout goes.
And when I work out, it's like staying at work.
Yeah.
Stay an extra hour, you're staying at work.
Yeah, of course. So do you do that do you do?
Yeah.
Like every day?
Not every day, no. So this is the thing I think sometimes for people in personal trainers, that with these like we train every hour of the day, we live and breathe it. But I'm pretty the same as everyone else, really, trying to manage my workload, stress, kids, fiance, So I think you just sort of like Adam said, you just priorities change. You train a bit smarter, but we're not just people just think we steaks for breakfast and train every day. Chicken rice diet,
just flipping avocado.
I've done it.
It's just terrible when you see like the Instagram stuff, and it's like how to lose 20 kilos in 10 weeks, and it's like, and the dude's just there having like steak, eggs, and avocado for breakfast, and then he's like, and then he's chucking a creatine down in there, and I'm thinking we've all got lied. Do you know what I mean?
The hardest thing. So as soon as you get that gym stuff, so as soon as I started going to the gym a few months ago, all I got on my socials was gym everything. So and I'm like, how do you know? But it's like, one guy's saying down 10 raw eggs, and the other guy's eating like raw liver and saying to
the Liver King.
Do others? That's it, the Liver King. Yeah.
I do just find it really. I do honestly find it really fascinating how we because I think it's because we can't see it. Because we can't see, I think if we could see the visual impact of skipping 2 gym sessions a week, we wouldn't skip 2 gym sessions a week. But because you can't see inside your own body, and you can't I know I wouldn't prioritize a couple of emails or something else over gym and cooking healthy if I could see what doing that was, how it was impacting me. I think that's I don't know if that's because you can't see it visually. Whereas if I don't answer that email, I'm going to get a snotty one in return. That's a visual thing that I'm like, okay, well, I'll do that then. So I just feel as though, do you know what I'm saying? It's almost like the lack of being able to be like, okay, if I skip the gym, it's not that big a deal. Well, actually, it probably is.
Well, it makes you feel better when you go and stuff.
Absolutely.
But it's hard to see progress all the time, I guess, isn't it? But,
The drive for it, I think, is, so as soon as you start going to the gym, it gets easier because you're like, I love going to the gym.
Yeah.
But then the days that you don't want to go, to actually end up going is like the hardest thing. That's my hardest bit, is when I wake up and I'm just like, I really don't want to go, because I go at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I just feel like sometimes I wake up and I'm like, nah. But as soon as I've done it, I feel like 10 times better.
You sort of have to put in your diary like you would with your work meetings, don't you? Like, you're going to go at this time, or because if you don't, then someone else, like an email, will be more important.
I've heard that. I'm going to start trying to do 7:30 in the morning because it's not ludicrously early, like where like I'm setting an alarm for like airport time, as I call it, sort of 4 or 5 o'clock or whatever. But it's also like I can get back for 8:30, 8:45, have a shower, and be ready for the phone to start ringing at 9.
Get it done before the day starts.
Well, yeah, because I'm typical, like where I'll be like, I'll answer my emails in the morning and I'll be like, yeah, I'll go to the gym this evening, and then either I'm too tired or something's happened during the day with work that I've got to catch up on, and again it just gets canned. So I think I just find this side of the world, like Americans, English, like which our relationship with the gym is so volatile. What do you think? What do you see the biggest challenges with the clients that you have? Is it just consistency? Is it effort? Is it what's the?
Yeah, not necessarily effort. I think they've always got the effort. I think is keeping them accountable really to something. I think that's why most people have a trainer, because like they've got that session booked in at that certain time. Because a lot of the times people sort of have quite good knowledge of the gym. You can see quite a lot online, but they still get the value of actually just coming and having a session booked with us.
Yeah.
But the key persuades, keeping people consistent, keeping them on plan all the time, but also having a bit of empathy that actually they are busy people. It's a bit different if you're sort of training like athletes, like you said, or actors that have got full time at it. But yeah, these people are just like you, they're trying to manage loads of different stresses at once. So yeah, it is challenging to keep them motivated, but a lot of the time they've committed as well. They're paying for it, and so they've committed at the beginning. They don't want to waste their money.
Yeah, that's the money side of it.
Yeah,
it is a good commitment. So
it is,
I think having that, like, you pay this, and then I think not being able to get out of it is then like sort of key to being able to stay.
Yeah.
Well, Alan, can I have a refund? No.
No, come to the
my
gym.
policy. Sorry.
Yeah, so that type of thing. That's even though I'm going to PureGym at the moment, and then I'm gonna sign up with you.
I haven't told you the price yet.
We've already spoken about that.
Plugging a national brand.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going there at the moment because it's. Oh, there's loud people here. I don't know what's happened there. The price is low. And they've got everything there that I need, but now I've got to a point where I'm like, I look different, but at the same time I can't then. I'm struggling with like shape, so I can't get rid of my lower breasts. Specifically,
that is the quote of the last 3 months.
You should ask someone in PureGym, how do I get rid of these lower breasts?
Yeah, they just look at me funny.
This is
Jesus.
I've been asked some funny things.
That's a clip it. That is. If that's not a short,
then that's it. That one's gone on Instagram, isn't it?
How do I get rid of my lower breast?
I could give you some advice. It's all through nutrition, really. But a lot of
not your pack sushi up there or whatever it is.
just drink that.
Pack sushi's fine.
Drink your whey protein, you'll be fine.
Yeah, so I have been
that
drinking
easy?
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but so I'm eating healthy as well. So 3 meals a day and 0 snacks, unless it's like plain nuts or like banana chips or something.
It does get to a point where, if I don't know, obviously your training history, but you generally see those good results in the first few months. You sort of get that new sort of muscle stimulus, and then it does get to a point where everything sort of plateaus off, and that's normally where people either come to a trainer or just think, I'm not really quite seeing the progress anymore. But
so in a weird way, that concept should make it quite easy for people to start the gym.
Yeah,
but see it as you like, because if you can go to the gym, and again, I know when I start training, I'll be 105 kilos, and within 6 weeks I'll be 100. I can almost lose a kilo a week if I'm disciplined enough
at the beginning. Yeah,
and then over the next 5-6 weeks, it's like suddenly it's 2 kilos, and you're like, okay, now we're getting to the point where like, absolutely, and
you're doing something wrong, but you're not. You're
absolutely, just you're missing something. You're not quite. Not quite pushing hard enough. You're leaving a bit on the table. So yeah, you're probably right. Like, weirdly,
are you a bit of an all or nothing guy?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very much so. And I partially because like if my focus is on work, then that seems to go. Yeah. Or if it's on. So yeah, I'm very much like 0. Yeah, you're right. 0 or 100.
Yeah.
But I think
I'm a bit like that. Like very goal setted. It's like you have to try and get there as quickly as possible sometimes, but it's
Yeah.
not always the best way. Yeah, when you do get there, it's sort of like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah. No. I can see that.
yeah.
That's very good.
So I can't remember where we were then, but we'll
Talk about your lower breasts, I think.
Oh, well, but, yes, of course, yeah.
we
So,
can end that now if you like.
so I'm eating 3 meals a day. I'm eating healthily, but I've now got to a point where, like you said, and this is where I've then come to you as well, because I'm like, I can't now sort of shape it any more than what.
Yeah, probably just fine tuning a bit of the nutritional stuff, and really, like I say, you sort of plateau off, so you just have to be a little bit more detailed on the food. Really,
is that calorie counting? Is that like?
Yeah, obviously that's probably like the most popular thing. If your goal's fat loss, the thing is, remember, not everyone's goals is fat loss. You know, and this is something I say all the time over the studio. You know, we do have a lot of people that are there for fat loss, but so many people for other reasons. Like, you know, I had a phone call today about an 80-year-old lady and an 85-year-old male that want to just come in and be a bit stronger. So that's the nice thing about having the studio, is that because we've got so many trainers and we all sort of go in slightly different directions, we can offer different stuff. But
it seems to be, I won't, because you're here, I won't plug anyone else, but
no, you can plug it.
No, it seems to be, I've forgotten what it's called anyway, but there seems to be 2 or 3 little things that have popped up where I've gone, oh, that looks really good. And you sort of type on it and you're like, okay, let's see what it costs, and you can't just come and work out, can you?
No, I tried to make that quite clear, but we still have people come in asking it for a gym.
Is that just because there's not enough space to have members and you guys?
There is that. I don't really want to manage a gym, to be honest with you. It's quite a competitive market, isn't it? Like, I know we don't want to mention PureGym, but you know, not too many times. Who are they? But you know, they are. You know, what they offer for the money is very cheap. So, but we're slightly different. We rather go down the quieter route. People prefer to have a smaller space. And we get people that would never step into a pure gym, although we try and encourage them to, but, and our training plans are more specific to their goals, and we help more with their nutrition. So it's quite a lot different model, but there isn't the space as well, But
so is it a case of that anybody who trains in there is always on a session? So it's not like, so someone like Julie couldn't just be like, no, I'm going to drop because she's training with you. You have to have to with you.
You book sessions,
right? But she does go to another gym, but we sort of create training programs on our app for her. And she can follow
we can say
that's the one. That's the one. Yeah,
we can say 5 Rivers, can't we? Because that's the local council.
It's local,
it's funny because cause some people will just come there and see us, but that's 2 or 3 sessions a week. But most people probably come once a week and then do their own, their own stuff in their own time, whether that's in another gym or at home.
I was hoping you wouldn't say this, because I sometimes the idea of the times that I also want to go to, I also know that the 2 times feasibly that I can go to the gym, 7:30 to 8:30, going to be the morning gym monkey. It's quite busy, right?
Just before work.
Just before work, and then the other time is probably 6 to 8. So I do know in my mind sometimes the idea that I'm going to go in there and be like, the cables are taken, it just really demotivates you to be like, I'm going to be there an hour and a half doing what should be a 45, 50-minute workout. So
it does mess up a lot of plans. So it's quite often that we go there because for PureGym, I've just plugged it again. For PureGym,
just say
we'll edit that out.
Workout lab a few times. Just say like 10 in a row.
Workout lab. That's it. Because they're open 24, so they're open all the time. You just get
Stop plugging them. Stop saying all this.
Well, that's the only reason I go there, because I can go there really early. Other than that, it's rubbish. Awful. But it is in a way of you go in there a lot of the times and everything is just taken. So you have to then go on one of the machines or whatever instead. Because it ruins your sort of plan then. You haven't really got...
Yeah, and you sort of don't want to be there then, do you? But... Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I was in the commercial gym, I was fighting for, not fighting actually, but sounds aggressive. Get on,
get out.
Just try to get on machines, and that's the one thing I do like about the studio. I don't have to worry about anything like that. We can follow our structured program and just go through it, and people like that as well.
So how much would the Salisbury Business Podcast have to pay you to be able to access the gym at any time?
A lot. A lot. If people have asked me, I couldn't even if I wanted to be fair, because of the space.
Yeah.
But I do think sometimes it would be nice to have somewhere where there is space for people to come and have personal training. But then a lot of our clients come to us because there isn't other people just working out. So it's sort of like the business model would be very different, and I'm not sure that would be a good idea. Yeah.
I guess the only thing that must be slightly tempting is like you don't want to run a gym, but I suppose that's almost money working for you without you having to be there. So that might be the only time. I can understand how you sit there and you go, yeah, if I'm there training, that's the vision I want. But I guess the idea with some of these, if you've got 50 people paying £30, it's almost like there's a bit of free money.
There is a market for it in town a little bit because there's no gym in town anymore. So.
All right,
Salisbury Business
Put your money
Gym.
But the sports rec, that's what I was at, shut down. There's nowhere really in the central. Snap Fitness went.
So how long ago did that shut down?
Sports rec. What we're in now, 2023.
2023. Oh, okay. So it wasn't too long.
Yeah.
So you've grown quite quickly then for.
Yeah. So about a year and 5 months or something. So yeah,
it's really good. Yeah.
Lucky we got. The trainers we have are really good, and I sort of knew a lot of them, obviously from that gym as well. So I was quite lucky the fact that I knew them because they were quite keen to come over.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky because they're all really good and helpful. Scott's been really helpful, and we have Hannah who's starting in the industry and stuff. So we have a nice range, but it does help having them there, because I think I'd actually be a bit lonely if it was just me.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, because I guess you've got times in the day where you haven't got a booking.
Yeah.
So in between, you can sort of chat now, can't you? And you've got people around.
Yeah,
so
coffee.
Nice.
Always coffee.
Lunch run.
Yeah.
No,
so when you first started out, was it because you had it planned anyway, and you had a plan for quite a while? I suppose it wasn't as sort of scary as like another place closing down because you were going to leave in January anyway.
Yeah.
But did you still have like the nerves of starting your own business and all of that?
I had them, definitely still had them, because it was even though I had myself to worry about, it was a big jump just going from renting a gym space to having my own premises. I'd never done any of that before. So I was definitely nervous. Had a few.
This is what we've been saying. This is what I've been saying about I've mentioned it on every podcast about doing like a Salisbury Dragons Den, because I just think there's so many people who everybody's got so many skills in their own field, but you're suddenly not just personal training and maybe sticking a couple of accounts through. Because I imagine most PTs are self-employed.
Yeah, they pretty much 95% of them are. I mean, the industry's so saturated anyway, so...
I'm guessing, the difference is, like hair salons, they can come to you and you'll offer them 50%, or you take a 40% cut or whatever it might is. I assume that's how it works. And then you can go to that other place that you keep mentioning, and they'll maybe take a bit more because they think they're going to bring in more clients for you because of the name. Is that sort of how it works, or do you...
No, we're slightly different, actually. So... rather than them, so some of them are self-employed, but they all sort of work for the workout lab. Okay. So I actually write a lot of the programming and do the nutrition, and they sort of deliver the sessions. So it's a nice feel, because rather than everyone fighting for their own clients, we all sort of work together, and that's what I really like about it. Because when a client comes in, sometimes it feels like they've got more than one trainer, so cool. We all speak to the same clients and stuff.
Good idea, that.
Because we do have, let's say, we have employed trainer now, which is really good because, like you said, most of them are self-employed, and it's quite challenging to get into the industry as self-employed trainer. Getting clients and stuff like that. So it's good opportunity, I think, that we've given some of the employed trainers.
I guess it's really good. Yeah,
I guess as well. If you go on holiday for 2 weeks, and then if you go on holiday for 2 weeks, and then I don't know, one of the other people there, have you broken something? If you go on holiday, I guess someone else, because you're all kind of on the same page with clients, they can sort of step in, can't they? Which I think is quite cool.
That's exactly it. In a couple of weeks, I'm away, so a couple of guys will cover the sessions and stuff. So it's nice. So then clients won't lose their sessions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you find like I'm guessing you probably feel as though the PT stuff kind of you can do in your sleep. Do you struggle with any of the business things, or like you feel like you've got a pretty good flow now of like accounts and what to do, what not to do, what to pay, what not to pay? Or is it still like that daily? Because I still
I'm still learning. You know, I still probably struggle a bit with my own time. You know, trying to fit everything in, I think someone said to me before, you know, you have to spend time on the business, not in the business, but I'm always there.
Yeah, sure.
And so I'm trying to like always balance time and young family. So, there's definitely stuff I can improve on and stuff like that. But
it's very common for business owners to be in the business rather than working on it.
Well,
because it's your baby, isn't it? It's like you've started it, you've built it.
And you feel like you need to be there all the time.
Isn't that, I'm going to try and find it, isn't that Alan Sugar's thing, where he says every business owner...
You're fired.
No. I have been in the past, but... Alan Sugar, what does he say? He's like, spend...
You got fired?
Twice.
From where?
I got fired from 2 jobs.
What, where?
Well, my first job in London, I got let go because it was a bad fit. I wasn't getting along. I hated it, and I was going to leave anyway. You know, you have your probation.
Yeah, sure. I was going to leave anyway.
It wasn't for me.
No, the reason I've said twice is because I'm happily willing to say that the second time was just, and I feel vindicated because of what I've ended up doing. But I just again, like, it probably wasn't performance stuff, which I know is going to sound like I'm copping out. But I think it's just like some people aren't born to take orders from people when they feel like they can do better, or at least until they've tried to do it themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think there's so many people out there that hate corporate work or working for another gym, working for another marketing company, and like if you go out and try something yourself, because I always said with my business, if I fail, then I will go eat humble pie, wander back to my bosses and say, look, hey, you were right, I was wrong, you know. But I couldn't really take on board and agree with what they were saying when I fundamentally thought I could do it better.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, a lot of people don't like that whole having a boss and, you know, KPIs, all that kind of stuff.
So it was like that second.
Know where to start.
That second job, it was just crash, and I just.
And I suppose you didn't really have much of that at Sports Direct because you were kind of.
I've never been employed.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you mean? Sorry, yeah.
So
like Adam said, I'd probably struggle with that. Once you go self-employed, it's a bit like that, isn't it? You think, I can never go work for someone else again.
Yeah, as soon as you're self-employed, I think that's the difference. I couldn't imagine actually working for somebody or to getting somebody to sort of report to and things like that. How did you get into doing personal training?
Well, I was always quite sporty and went to the gym, and I always knew I didn't really want to have like an office job. But I actually left school and did an apprenticeship in plumbing for 2 years. Which is quite funny, because not many people know that.
Okay.
That was terrible. So I gave that up pretty quick.
You fired yourself.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I've been fired before.
Self-firing.
Yeah. So I was always quite sporty and went to the gym, but it's sort of one of those things that was a bit of a hobby, but then turned into a job. And that's another thing that, you don't realise sometimes when it's a hobby and it does turn into a job. It's different than, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not explaining that very well. But so that's sort of how I got into it. But I actually, my first job interview, first training, was on a cruise ship. I wanted to go on this 9-month cruise ship, and I got rejected. I got all the way through to the interview. It was literally like Wolf of Wall Street. I had to sell a pen in front of all these people.
Oh, God, I hate that.
Yeah, it was
so
like
cliched.
And like I said, people think personal trainers are really confident, but I've always been quite nervous at stuff like that. Better now, but I got all the way to the end, and then they're like, "No, you haven't got it." Someone else got it who'd been on the cruise before, so I was like, "Oh, that was a waste of a time."
You did a shit job selling the pen.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, didn't bring a pen with me. Yeah. But, and then that moment, I was like, "Right, I'm going to just go work in the commercial gym, pay the £800 a month rent that I had to pay, and get 6 months experience, and then go back again." But I never went back, and actually realised that even though the cruise ship job sounded good, you're just selling all these detox products and $50 spin classes. So it wasn't really personal training. So in hindsight, actually, probably a good thing in a way. But so that's sort of how I got into it. And then, it's just been there pretty much. It was Ali Fitness, then it changed, and yeah, and then.
So did you have to do that did you have to get any qualifications or anything like that, or is it?
Yeah, you have to do PT qualifications.
Yeah. It's a bit different now because you can qualify quite quickly. There's a few different routes you can sort of go down. I think there's like 6-week courses now and stuff like that, which is just companies making an awful lot of money. But go college. People have sports science degrees, but you need a few different qualities, I think, as a trainer. So you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you can't communicate with clients and make them feel at ease, so you need to have a few different good qualities. But
yeah, sure.
Hopefully I'll sit somewhere in between there. But,
well, so I've seen, and again, like I said, I follow your social media, Workout Lab.
Yeah,
Nice. Did it again. Yeah. And some of the results on there are insane. They're just amazing.
Thank you.
Like the difference between the two, and that's that was initially what got me to follow you, because I saw somebody. I think it was one of my friends shared.
Who was it?
Somebody's results. I can't remember the person who was in it, but the difference was amazing. Yeah. So that's when I started to follow you.
And that's the best.
Dan's blown away by before and after.
Yeah. So
that's the best thing about the job. When you see your clients make that sort of change, that's what's really motivating about it. But
I guess you also see quite a lot of positivity in the way, like their mental health. And
that's
all that type.
More
of
important
stuff.
now than ever, isn't it? Especially since COVID and stuff. More people are more worried about their health, well-being, and mental health. So we do get a huge amount of people that come just for that, but which is really nice. Not all about having a six-pack.
Yeah. So, and how quick does it take to get a six-pack?
Oh God!
Asking for a friend.
That's such a
hard question.
I was gonna say that's such a joke question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like there's so many variables attached to that, isn't it? Like
let him answer the question.
Well, no, I'm just mocking your question.
What is it?
First.
Come on.
It all depends on obviously how much where you're starting at. Having a six-pack is just about having a low body fat percentage. So someone's 40% body fat is obviously going to take a lot of time. Someone who started relatively low doesn't particularly take that long, but those sort of before and after photos are really good, but having a six-pack doesn't mean you're healthy. That's another thing to consider. It looks maybe aesthetically pleasing, but are you willing to give up 95% of your life to have a six-pack? Now, some people will, and fair play to them, and they do, but some people won't want that. So, and this is a conversation I have with people who come in for fat loss, and I'm like, well, you could probably get to this, but are you willing to do this, quit alcohol, whatever? And some people will want to do that, but some people would rather go a bit steadier and not give up a lot of their life. So, I think fall in the trap of people think that.
Easier than that.
There is a way.
I am in the mindset of I don't actually care if I have a six-pack. That was more of a joke.
Everyone can have one. Everyone can do it.
Yeah. I think my main thing is I just want to lose the boobs, get rid of the boobs and the belly. And it's gone down. I've lost 14 kilograms.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's really good.
March. So,
I've been like,
and we've been going sort of 5-6 times a week.
Do you go together?
It's annoying. No,
we don't go together.
It's annoying because back then I was in better shape. So I think because my work with houses gets mad from March onwards. I tend to get in. I mean, houses are quiet October, November, December, and then sort of busy in Jan, but then quiet Feb. So I tend to get into really good shape when everybody's got their clothes on.
You're doing it the wrong way around.
And then it comes around to this time of year, and it's just a disaster with work because it's so busy. So I just find I've got out of shape and he's got in shape, which is really frustrating. But it's I mean, I guess for you it's just keeping it off, isn't it?
But that's always the hardest bit. The bit. I know everyone says it, don't they? But the hardest bit is always keeping it off, because most people in their life have probably lost weight, or they know how to. But the problem is always how you keep it off at the end. I think the stats are ridiculous. How many people? I think it's like 85% of people will put the weight back on, and 95% of people will put more on. I know that's not the exact stat, but it's crazy, it's high. So as a trainer, it's like, do we really focus on obviously making them lose the weight that they want to, but how are you actually going to keep it off afterwards? Because if you go back to your old habits, then you're probably just going to put it on a lot quicker than you lost it.
It's definitely a lifestyle change, isn't it, rather than anything. And I feel like I'm more positive. So I've been like a yo-yo over the last sort of 10 years. So I've been very, very big, and also really, really stick thin. And that's just by, it will get to sort of February time and I'm like, just randomly I'll be like, I'm going to have a diet. I'm going to do a diet. And then I will only eat like diet. 1 meal a day or something stupid.
Wouldn't recommend that one.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's terrible. But you lose a lot of weight really quickly. Yeah. So
you'll also lose a lot of muscle. So it depends how you look at it.
There you go. I didn't know that. But that's what I used to do. And I used to get really thin. I felt good and all of that. But at the same time, I felt really tired. And also hungry, just all the time.
Miserable. Eating 1 meal a day.
I know, it's horrible.
I don't know how you could do it.
No, it was. I've got quite good. What's it called?
Metabolism.
No, bad metabolism.
I don't know.
Like drive. I've got quite good motivation to do it when I start.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're doing it better this time, though.
Yeah, this is the only time in my whole life where I've actually stuck to it for longer than a month.
Good.
It's
working this time.
Good, yeah.
I guess it's also true, isn't it? Again, this is not to devalue what you're doing, but because that's definitely not the idea of this. But isn't it?
Maybe don't say it then.
No, I think it's.
Can we stick it on pause? Have a think about what you're going to say.
I'm going to stop and then
come back to it,
so you can seamlessly edit.
No, I need to hear this now.
It's like, what would you say the percentages are between like nutrition and working out? Some people say 75% nutrition, 25% working out. Is it 50-50? Is it like,
Yes, that's a good question. I always think to be fair, it's like...
So you mocked me.
Such a loser.
I do think people will say 80% nutrition, 20% working out, but I generally do think it's 50-50 because you can't have one and not the other, if you know what I mean. But you can technically lose weight without working out. You could just be more active and stuff like that. But again, you're just losing more muscle than actual...
Because I got one of these.
I've got one. Yeah.
Don't they? It seems to say that like I'll burn 2,000 calories a day just by existing.
Yeah. Well, you will. You do burn calories just staying alive.
Just walking up about, upstairs, down the stairs.
So I have to be fit.
Yeah. These watches are good for some stuff, but they're not particularly good for working out how many calories you burn a day. So stuff like steps and stuff are really good. But you will burn calories just sleeping. So
to be fair, I think I was in Newquay a couple of weekends ago, and I surfed. And when I say surfed, I desperately tried to pull myself onto the board for 2 hours. So my lats and my shoulders were just awful because I was kept pulling myself on.
Yeah.
And then you've got to like do this. I stood up twice, I think. I came off and it was like, you burnt 1,700 calories. I was like, not entirely sure I did. But, I mean, I might have done because it was tiring. But like, and then I play golf and I'll walk. To be fair, I guess I can probably believe this a bit more. Obviously it's like a 4.5 hour walk and you've got the golfing in between, and that says about 1,600 calories odd, but then that's like a what does it work out, like a 6k walk, I think, 7k walk. So again, you just
walking is like the secret source of fat loss, we all say, because that's just something you sort of do all the time. So it's all right going to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, but if you just literally sat on your ass, if I'm going to say all the time, then it's really irrelevant. So walking is really important just to keep active. So
what's that whole I don't know whether this is true or not, but I've seen it so many times where it's that you'll lose more weight by walking rather than running.
Nah.
Yeah, I thought that was a little
because again, I'm probably getting a bit scientific here, but isn't it like a lot of your fat burning comes from raised heart rate, and so then your certain chemical reactions are then happening in your body to then create certain chemicals, and that's better done by running because you're raising your heart rate quicker, or is it not that simple? I guess it's very layered, isn't it?
It sounds pretty obvious, but when it comes to fat loss, a lot of it will be how much you're consuming food wise. So it doesn't matter if you do a 5-hour walk or 1 hour run. If you're burning the same amount of calories in that time, you'll lose weight. But,
so it's almost
like the way you lose fat is you basically breathe it out through carbon dioxide.
Right.
So there's no like different fat zones or anything like that. So it will always be down to how much food you're consuming.
So is it then like each person's going to react differently to certain things? And so like if I find that walking has a better low impact on muscles and joints if it's raising my heart rate enough to consistently do it. Whereas I guess some people will rather go out for a 5k run, destroy it, and they achieve the same overall impact as a 5k run.
Yeah,
sorry,
exactly,
a 5k walk.
Yeah, if some people would prefer to try and like increase their overall activity, like walking or something, but people maybe who have got a bit less time would rather just do an hour's run. But it depends on your goals as well. You know, some people, it's not just to say about the weight loss. You might want to improve your cardiovascular health, and so running's probably would be a bit better for that. So, but yeah, when it comes to fat loss, it's quite basic with the nutrition. But then when you look on the other side of what types of food you should be eating, as it sort of affects the way you sleep, you feel, your mood. So that bit's important, really. But a lot of people do overcomplicate weight loss.
That's what. Yeah, I was just about to say that I feel like the amount of videos that I've watched over the last few months about weight loss and do this and do that, and they're all so conflicting and different. That it's just overcomplicating everything. So I think it will be like
that's the reality of social media.
A relief.
Isn't it? Yeah,
it'll be a relief to go in there and you're like, oh, it's basic. Just do this, and this. That's sort of ideal. So I think. So if I'm eating 3 meals a day now, most of it is protein stuff. So in the mornings I'll eat like eggs, and then lunch is rice. Rice is fine. Rice and chicken, that kind of thing, and then dinner's rice and chicken pretty much. But there's no flavouring on it and all that kind of stuff. But it's not like
I've just signed up to Simmer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, mate, that's brilliant. Like,
is it really?
Oh, fantastic!
I've seen about 50 billion adverts.
It's really good. I'm really impressed with it. The portion size, because I tried Prep Kitchen as well, and that was crap. But
some of them are not particularly not Prep Kitchen. There's quite a few different companies for the prep food.
Yeah,
some of them are quite nice, but some of them are
like Simmer is. So you obviously got like, I think it's like Gusto and there's certain ones where you get the ingredients and you cook it.
Gusto.
Is it Gusto?
Yeah,
Gusto.
Gusto.
Well, I was just the one that
I know Gusto. I don't know Gusto.
Yeah. It's probably a very nice restaurant somewhere, isn't it? But Simmer is actually like. It comes pre-cooked and you just stick it in the microwave. I'm so impressed with it. Like the protein content's really good. Yeah. Like they'll do like they'll do rice meals. They'll do like there's such a variety. You get burrito, like a protein burrito, and it's like 512 calories, but 42 grams of protein.
That's the thing. You still have those food that's quite palatable.
Yeah.
So
good. I'm really impressed with it.
Yeah. Okay.
For busy people, and then I've been getting 10, but then I'm out and about too much at lunch, so I'm chucking 3 away every week.
I imagine it's quite expensive though, right?
Yeah. To be fair, it's like 60 quid a week.
How many meals are that?
That's for 10, so they're about £6 each.
Yeah, so you think if you probably go to the shop...
Well, that's what
you probably spend more.
Economy, isn't it?
But the thing is, like you say, you chuck half of them.
I've been chucking 2 anyway, so I've just reduced it down to 5.
Yeah, okay.
So it'll probably, because as I said, most of my job is, I'm out and about during the day. I don't have a microwave in my car.
Why not?
Silly Range Rovers.
You should get an electric lunchbox.
You
can put it into the cigarette lighter and it's like a little microwave.
Is it really?
There you are.
That's
you
amazing.
can. Yeah.
I thought you were
I've got
joking.
one. No, you can, yeah. You literally plug it into the cigarette lighter. And it's like, it heats up in like 40 minutes. And I think it's made for like people on the road,
There you go. No,
that's good. That's good about it.
There we are.
But
that's one useful tip you've got out of me today.
yeah. Goes home and orders in-car microwave. But yeah, no, I think. But I've been so impressed. So I think I'm gonna check it down to 5, and then. But again, I think, as I said, for people who have the time to cook and they've got the knowledge to cook, because I think cooking for a lot of people is a lack of knowledge, so you panic, and it's so easy to get takeaways now, isn't it? You can get a Nando's to your door in 15 minutes, which is about the time it's going to take me to go and cook a pasta dish or something, so
that's the problem, that it's so
toxic.
So you get it everywhere now,
and it's like you kind of just even ignore the price now because it's so ridiculous. Like all of the fees that are added on top.
It's
when you
cheaper
get
to eat junk food, isn't it? Probably than eat healthy food. That's half the problem, isn't it?
That is true. If you go just to any healthy sort of shop around here, if in comparison to then what the junk food shop is next door, the price difference is ridiculous.
I did get a delivery from Giggling Squid the other day, and it was. Bad plug for a national brand, so that's my bad. But it came out like £66.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you're thinking I'm thinking I've ordered for 2 people. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's insane.
It's nice, but it's crazy.
You're in trouble now. You got the hot cross bun place across the road.
Yeah. Well, I'm literally. It's dangerous for me to be in town because there's Reeves and there's all of these other local coffee shops, and they all do pastries and they all do that
Which
kind of
local
stuff.
coffee shops do you like?
Ride. Ride's good.
Okay.
Why?
You just sounded like you were going to panic then. you sounded as though you'd said it, but you didn't actually know any. So I tried to
Yeah,
put you
no,
on
I
the
know
spot.
loads.
Scotch
Can't remember their
coffee's
names.
That's it.
Yeah. I just go in there and get amazing coffee. Where should we go down? I'm not sure.
Yeah, Ride Coffee, I think it's just a cool atmosphere. It's just nice in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
So would you say if you got written a blank check or some concept of that kind for the Workout Lab for the next 5 years of your business, what do you think it would look like? What would you want it to look like? Where's the aspirations?
I suppose there's probably just maybe expand the premises and maybe get a slightly bigger premises, but
Are you keeping your eye on that now, or like are you
yeah, I
kind
think
of?
you always do. Did you know? That's like you always see, like I said earlier, you always see like an empty building. You think, what can I do with that? You know, but yeah, I think just keep expanding our client base. We might have to look at getting somewhere a bit larger, but we're still early days. You know, I always think, you getting ahead of yourself? You know, should I just live in the moment and look after our clients? We've got a really good team, you know, and so it's going well. So I think why change something that's going well? But it is hard to not think about.
Yeah, so
I'm always wanting to go to the next step.
Because again, I'm putting ideas in your edit, but I thought about 6 to 9 months ago, I was chatting to somebody who was a PT in Salisbury. She's moved away now, but I was chatting to a PT, and we said like there's no premium gym. Like Parkwood, I think purported itself to be once, but there's no and again, like when I was in London, you got like Third Space, and where it's like,
big gyms there now.
do you know what I mean? And so I was sat there going, and again, I appreciate that there's a lot of people that wouldn't pay this and would kick off about how much it costs, but I think there's a lot of people, and again, I hope she wouldn't mind me saying this, but like the likes of Julie, who if you said, you know what, you've got like a really premium gym, it's 150 quid a month, but it's going to be we're not going to have certain, and again, in the gym you mentioned, you get a lot of people, and it's more a social exercise than it is but whenever I go into a Third Space in London, that's about £150 a month.
And they're always quite busy.
And they're always quite busy. I know there's obviously a lot of money in London, I get that, but there is money here.
Do you think there's a market for it here?
I think there's a market here for a premium gym, which again isn't, maybe even you max the memberships at a certain level. Kind of what you were saying, you don't want to manage hundreds of people coming in and out the door every day. But like imagine turning Sports Direct into a Third Space, for example. And then you charge people £150 a month.
I think, like you say, there's definitely a bit of a market for that, where you have a real premium space where maybe you book a slot to go in, so it's never overcrowded.
Yeah, there's like a maximum
25 people at once or something,
slot,
And you just, I'm sure there'll be some data out there. I don't know. It just feels as though like especially because we seem to be in this era of, where you've got coaches doing stuff online, and what you're doing. Like I do feel as though people are committing to their fitness. They're paying a lot of money for.
Yeah, I think the fitness industry is definitely booming, and that better than ever. I think.
I think that'd be
since I know we talk about COVID all the time, but since COVID now, it's probably done us a favour in a way, because I say more people are willing to spend more money on their own health, so they should do. So I think you're right. I think about it all the time as well. Would something like that in Salisbury do well? But you'd have to be centre location, charge quite a premium rate, and
I keep thinking Sports Direct.
Oh wow, yeah.
Is the building?
That's quite big, isn't it?
It's
cost a
mad.
fortune.
Well, the building's not very. The building's
a bit knackered.
You could spend a lot of money on it. Yeah, it would be a good space because it's just outside of town. It's huge.
Bit of parking.
But yeah, it's a shame it's not a gym. But I don't know what's going to happen with that now. But there's been rumours, but
because I almost just think, like, again, just with what you're doing is such a good base. But imagine because you could probably, if you charged premium prices, made the equipment really premium, so it all looks sharp, really sharp, nice changing rooms, all that kind of stuff. Appreciate this costs a bit of money to set up.
It would, yeah.
But then you could probably still do the vibe that you're doing. Because you would make sure that you could even book the gym out at certain points. So like I had to, I know some people don't want to have to book to go to the gym,
Yeah.
but like if I was sat there on an appointment,
If it's premium though, I think but nobody would have an issue with.
well, no, you'd have an app, wouldn't you? And it'd be like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
you can-
quickly-
you can
and I
pretty
just
easily-
quickly
slots
look on there
for-
and go, can I go now?
Yeah.
And if I can,
Yeah.
right, put my name down, and then I turn
Yeah.
up 15 minutes later.
I think definitely people would. I mean, some of our clients would say they would happily pay a little bit more, but have more of a quiet premium space.
Yeah.
But
I just think that would be the worst thing that could ever
yeah.
happen to Parkwood, because I think
well,
like,
yeah,
yeah, but they've got the swimming pool and everything,
That's
haven't
true.
they? So
Yeah, that's
sauna
true.
and all that.
yeah,
But a lot of people just go for that, don't they? Rather than
they do. Yeah.
So is that kind of like the dream stage of stuff? Like in, I don't know, 20 years time, you have like a bunch of personal trainers, a premium gym, is that like,
Yeah.
Where
Where's
your
the
end
I
goal is?
suppose. Yeah.
yeah.
I suppose I'd probably like a bigger space with more trainers. Yeah. I think about more of a premium space with a building with like more of a private gym and then a floor just for personal training and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd still always be one-to-one coaching. I think that'll always be my thing.
Yeah, you'll
I
always
wouldn't-
want to stay in it.
Yeah,
it's-
That's what I enjoy the most, really.
yeah,
I mean, I've
yeah.
like the online stuff like that. People doing that a lot now, and I've done a bit in it, but I never got into being a personal trainer to be sat at home training people.
Yeah, I can
So
imagine it being
it's
a
like,
bit odd
yeah.
as well, and not really, you still
Yeah,
get
I've
that
done-
same sort of feeling from it, do you? As somebody like online sort of telling you to run faster. But
Yeah, but I think what's interesting is like because I like a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with the gym. I think there's a lot of people that want to go to the gym 5 times a week.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just need the direction of being told what to do. Whereas for me, the accountability, I've tried online a few times, and a couple of times it's really worked. A couple of times I've flaked out just because I've been too busy. Not because of anything to do with the trainer.
Yeah.
But it was just more the fact that because maybe I wasn't seeing someone.
Yeah.
So, whereas I think there is some people that go, look, I've done the gym before. I've got the motivation to make this happen. I just need someone to say, right, do 8 reps of this,
Yeah,
4
yeah.
and then
think
you,
if you're
sort of
quite
know how to
motiv-
do everything.
If you're quite a motivated person, bit experienced in the gym, you can get yourself there. That's when online training's pretty good, or really good for some. I think people just some people prefer online training, some people will prefer face-to-face. I don't think there's a real right or wrong. I know some people's trainers might say, online training's the best, or one-to-one training's the best. But as a beginner, I think maybe the one-to-one training might be a bit better.
Yeah,
But I think sometimes people think with the one-to-one is that they just come have a session and they say, see you later. But, we still offer the programming. So they still have, sets of weight or whatever. We still help with the nutrition, but also they get to come in and see us and we can look at their form, which people really like. So I don't think there's a really
Because
right
there's been a
or
few
wrong.
there's been a few things where you have like anything, you have your exercises that you just prefer. Like I just have an inherent like your chest and shoulders really because that's always where I've been strongest.
Yeah.
But then sometimes like with back and maybe even like my squat form's not very good. Do you know what I mean? And I feel as though I've never really had much PT to be like right, because I might be there and then someone goes, so just stick your bum slightly further out. But I've never. So actually, you're probably right.
And to get that online as well, that's what I was going to say.
Some people have and I know some really good online trainers, and they have really good systems for online. They record their exercise. Some people have really good, but there is obviously again since COVID, all of a sudden everyone just went online and didn't really plan ahead. So I think now only the real good people are really lasting online because more people are coming back to one-to-one.
Yeah,
I'm sure
sure.
some online trainers might disagree with that, but I don't personally for me, and I'm not saying I'm right, is that's where it all started. One-to-one coaching was people face to
Fundamental,
face.
yeah.
So online
Definitely,
training is new. It's only been around 5-10 years, but again, I always go back to there's no right or wrong, because I don't like to sit here and say this is best and that's better, because people are different.
Isn't it?
And I've got a few online clients. I mean, I've got a client in Romsey. She's not going to come in and have a session with me in Salisbury.
or at least every week. She might
yeah.
do it once a month or something, or once every 6
If you
weeks.
go online and you see a trainer you particularly like, or you get on with and you agree with what they do and their methods, but they don't live locally, then again, online training's perfect for that. So, yeah, they offer different qualities, I suppose.
Yeah, I think the thing I would struggle with, and why I think I would prefer face to face rather than online is the technique stuff, because even the people that I go to the gym with, Stu, he's like, he does a lot of weights anyway. Well, he used to do a lot of weights and that kind of thing. So he's quite strong. But he's trying to tell me the technique.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows the best technique, don't they? It's like, do you know what I mean?
Well,
it's personal training is one of those jobs. Everyone knows how to do it better than the personal trainer.
Yeah, but mine's so bad.
Try selling
I just
houses.
don't know what I'm doing
It is,
at all.
though, isn't it?
I
Someone said that to me. Like, everyone knows how to sell the house better than the estate agent, but it's like
because you own it.
Yeah,
You own the house.
if it was that easy,
I know how to sell it.
I mean, I have people tell me how to do like the nutritional stuff, and I just
Oh God, I hate these
I've
people.
cut calves, and I'm thinking, oh God, have you? Why would you do that? They're very lovely. They are.
I've argued.
Yeah,
I've argued with my dad so many times about stuff like this because he's obviously of a certain age, and maybe the advice that he got was relevant to his health stuff that he wanted to manage. But so I don't judge it. But the way he's like, you should do this, and it'll always be like, I've stopped having potato and rice and thing. And I'm thinking, if I stopped eating potato, rice, and all that kind of stuff, I think I'd die.
How long would you last actually sticking to it?
I'd pass out, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that I'm not right. The online stuff, I'm not very good because I'm like a weird shape. I think like I'm tall and my arms are weird.
Those saggy breasts.
Because when Stu was doing it, he
Going
was
back
like,
there, don't we? Got an image in the head now.
when Stu was telling me what to do, because he could see that I wasn't doing it right, and I knew I wasn't doing it right as well.
To be fair, that's not a bad thing if you're quite new to it.
Yeah,
it's
he
good
was
to get
helpful,
advice.
but even then he was like, I'm not really sure how to work you out, like how you do it, because your arms don't move the same way.
Yeah, well, we all move very differently, don't we? Like, prime example is like a back squat. You know, there's not a real right way to do a back squat. There's obviously certain things you have to do right, but there could be.
I guess some people's backs are like that.
Your posture. You can have like long femurs, the way you stance, how you hold the bar. You know, do you do low bar, high bar? So, you know, it's just adjusting the technique to to you, I suppose. But and that's again another problem with social media. So you have to do it a certain way, but that's I guess where the one-to-one coaching again is really good.
Definitely.
But, well, we'll do a squat and we'll see how it goes out. We should
we'll both send you in
we'll
both send you in a recording and you can judge who's best.
Yeah, I haven't done squats or anything. So this whole time I've been at the gym, I've been on
skipping leg day already.
Yeah.
Still do leg day, but on like the machines. So I use machines for all of the stuff.
Yeah, that's still good.
And so I haven't done like the sit-ups or anything like that. It's just all been machines, cables. Still don't really like the cables still because it's like the way it works. I'm not very good at it. And bench press and all that's fine. But the first time I did press ups was I think 3 days ago. And I thought, I'll just do it because I didn't go to the gym that day and I felt a bit crappy. So I got down, I did 3 sets of like 15 press ups. And my God, the next day, my lats, now I know what they're called, were absolutely killing me and just everywhere. So it's obviously muscles I haven't used or anything. Am I doing it wrong? Because you look confused as to why I'm...
You felt it in your lats when you were doing push-ups.
What's lats?
That's a worry.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be leaving it there.
I'm not doing it right. This is why I need to
Charlie. Push-ups,
Oh,
obviously,
really?
like chest exercise.
Yeah, I know, but come on. It's like something
that's
here
a
happens as well, doesn't it?
You might have been doing one side, like
some sort of rowing motion in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
How have you managed to lose 13 kilos?
Well, running mostly.
Okay, fine.
So I when I first started the gym, I couldn't run for longer than a minute, really. And I think it was like 3 days ago, I managed to run my first 5K.
That's good.
In 29 minutes.
Nice.
That's
Did
pretty
you do a
good.
park run or?
No, it was at the gym on the treadmill.
Get out and do park run now then.
Yeah. Could do.
Yes.
But just sort your press up technique out.
I might need some help with that.
There is some people that say that, and again, I'm intrigued to see what you think of this, that some of the machines centralize a little bit too much, and so like things like stability, like if you've got a bar, like sometimes you use your core muscles but then because you're having to stabilize it, you might also use other muscles, whereas the machines and like sometimes it's a little bit like it's already kind of pinning you into a certain, do you know what I mean? So like you're literally just having to go up there and be like, rather than maybe balance, kind of guide, make sure your forms, because it's not like machined in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of my techniques are really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
there is
can't wait
something
to have that
It
session.
depends on your goals with a machine. Like there's no really right or wrong. If you were just trying to like really focus on building muscle, machines are really good because stability is quite important. But you're only really
Working.
unless you're doing like a leg press, which is quite similar to a squat. But over the years, machines have been like not the best thing to do, but they're really good. You get really good technique. But if you want to be if your goal is just like trying to build muscle, then actually machines are really good. But if you want to build core strength, or maybe you're trying to get stronger for a sport or something, then those sort of big compound exercises are really good. So you probably want to do a bit of both. But
that seems to be what the programs I've had is probably
you probably have like your compound exercise at the top, and also if you want to be stronger at a squat, you've got to do a squat, haven't you? So, but again, machines can be really useful. We use them a lot. Yeah, nice. Depends. It's always goal dependent, really. I think. But
Yeah. I think the next question is asking you about 3 local businesses that you can give a shout out to. So we're actually putting the logos up on the screen now.
Oh, we?
I think we've mentioned quite a few brands already, but I'll stick them up as well. But yeah, local businesses, what are your sort of like favourites to go to? We have a lot of coffee shops.
Like restaurants.
I've said a few already.
Yeah.
So I need to think of different ones.
No,
you can say the same again.
You can just repeat them,
like
and then we can.
Well, I have to give a shout out to Mr. B, who's obviously next to me. He started at a similar time. I don't know if you've been in there, but really nice chap. Obviously cuts keys and does everything like that. He's really nice. So
boycott
definitely him. Yeah. I have to go Muse hairdressers because they cut my hair.
Muse?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's just on the corner of Winchester Street, isn't it?
I go there and get my hair done. And Joel's wrestling company, I have to mention that, otherwise he might leave me tomorrow. We're hiring a new trainer.
Or do some sort of wrestling move on you, or
that'd be it. Hope not. That's 3, I suppose. But I also, a lot of them are some of my clients as well, but I also do actually go there. So coffee shop, I like to go to Aroma, the Greek place.
Aroma, that's been mentioned a couple of times.
I really like their coffee,
Yeah, excellent.
Cool. And we like our coffee as trainers. If we're not training clients,
it's
we're
very
normally
cliche,
drinking coffee.
that,
So
it?
it is.
You getting the coffee in, Joel?
This is a problem. I've never drunk so much coffee since being there because as soon as you've got 5 minutes, do you want a coffee? Yeah, go on then.
Of course.
I think that's the
excellent.
main.
Okay.
I said 4.
That's the
You
best.
said 4, that's great.
That's the best answer so far. Most people just panic the life out of it. And
don't forget Luke.
like Luke instead of Nando's. He's like, that's a tricky one, isn't it? I was like, shouldn't
we should tag him in this.
Yeah. No, we will.
I thought about it before I came.
Yeah, good. It was just when he was like, you could tell he wasn't expecting it, or whatever, and he went. He said it was tricky, i.e. that you couldn't think of any local businesses.
Well, you're just thinking on the spot, aren't you?
Yeah, we did. We didn't tell him beforehand.
No,
so we put him on the spot a little bit.
And he goes, no, we do like going for Nando's. we were like,
that's not local.
Yes, we sort of all do. Like, don't say it on an independent business podcast.
And so the other thing is to ask the question the previous guest asked. Now, the first question was, on these shelves, which one of these would you most like to be?
B or take home?
No, B. She was like, what one would you want to be?
That's a very Singer question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, Laura.
Obviously, you wouldn't want to be a one-legged astronaut that she broke, but that's fine. We'll forgive you, Laura.
I'll be honest.
Yeah. That's all that.
What is this?
That is actually from Darliz, the clothing shop on Winchester Street.
Can I be this one just because there's like boxing on there?
Yeah,
that sort of goes along with the fitness thing.
So that is.
I wouldn't be a very good one, but
this pendant here.
Oh, okay.
So there you go, a little shout out for Darliz as well.
Nice.
Oh, brilliant.
He's coming on soon, isn't it? He's coming on soon.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Good. So that's cool.
Yeah, that goes quite well, doesn't it?
I went to pick again. I went to pick a thing.
I thought you'd go for you.
Yeah, you don't answer the questions.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. What was that you picked up then? What brand is that?
NBS Marketing, is that you?
NBS Marketing.
What does that stand for?
No bullshit marketing.
Oh, yeah.
That's legitimately, the ballsiest marketing name I've heard.
And the weirdest part is that
People
everybody
remember it.
loves it.
Yeah.
Like even the corporate people that I've spoken to that, I was a bit wary of saying what it was in front of, that's why I've got MBS as well. they were like, "Oh, that's brilliant," because everybody is always speaking to agencies, marketing agencies, and you know, some of them are very good, but also some of them have a lot of bullshit involved. So you know, I saw a little niche there. I plug myself there.
As long as it's not PureGym again.
Yeah, fuck PureGym.
That's nearly as bad as Luke's Nando's, so we're probably going to keep mentioning that.
Yeah, I'll bleep it out. It's fine.
No, that's all right.
And the other question that she asked was,
I don't remember.
neither do I.
Oh, that's good.
Second
I nearly panicked on that one. So.
You have one.
second
You have
time.
one job.
I tell you what, we've done one question, so we'll move that on to the next person or something.
Yeah.
But and then we'll move your one on to another person as well. So now you have to think of a question for the next person.
Okay.
I don't think I told you that, but
No, thanks.
that was
man.
a
That's
surprise.
You just
fine.
said
Any question?
Yeah, any question? It doesn't have to be business related as such. Obviously, it's a business podcast, so it can be.
Oh God.
it can literally be anything, can't it?
Yeah, we've had. We know what would you do?
Who's the next person on?
Wow, you're not allowed to know,
Yeah.
and we also don't know yet.
No,
you know what?
it's between two. So
Do you know what I was worried you were going to ask me before I come on? It's like, if I wasn't a personal trainer, what else would I do?
you've already answered.
You already
that.
answered, yeah.
Plumber.
Plumber.
You know, I wouldn't know because I was saying, I told you there's leaks everywhere. So ask that question, but don't tell her it's coming. Or
Okay.
he, could be he, couldn't it?
Okay, that's
Okay, that's good.
That's
Yeah.
good one. And I'll remember that because I will
you
remember that. No, I will.
I can guarantee you now. I'll bet you £10.
I'll bet you £100.
What would you-
10? I'm not rich like you.
I'll bet you £100 for
I
a
want
charity.
you to ask those yourself that question for next time as well.
Okay,
Yeah, cool.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll be listening next time.
Yeah,
Yeah. There you go.
I thought you were
We've got
asking it
another
now.
listener.
No, if you've got an answer now.
no, I do, but we probably.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, cool. So the only other thing is, have I forgotten anything, or was that it?
I think so.
Was
Oh
there
no,
anything else
charity.
that- Oh, the charity, yeah. So you can pick a local charity, which I did tell you about.
yeah, you did
Yes.
that one.
So any local charity, we take Wiltshire. That kind
Can't
of
say
sort
the
of
workout lab fund or something.
yeah. I just want to go for the Salisbury hospice actually, because the reason why is both my grandparents were in there. They had really great care, so
Cool.
Brilliant.
I'd like it to go
Yeah,
there.
is that Stars Appeal, or is that separate to?
Yeah,
Because Stars Appeal do like the whole.
Let's make sure we get this right.
maybe
I think it is all related.
It is,
so
isn't
Stars
it? Yeah.
Appeal is So we've had one for Stars Appeal as well. So they'll be
Have you?
pleased to get another.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
Well, it's
that's
probably-
really nice. You do that. Do you do that at every podcast?
Every podcast we do a £100 donation.
Brilliant.
So far we've done £600 worth of donations. One is pending, and one of them.
slightly different. That one. Salisbury Hospice Charity.
Yeah, that's it. I was reading the top bit.
Oh, cool! Right, okay, yeah. There we go. That's good that we've got.
It's the Salisbury Horror Show.
Yeah, it's good. They'll be happy. Sorry, Stars.
Sorry, Stars Appeal. Maybe next time. We are advertising Stars Appeal up there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff for Stars Appeal. as well.
And you/me have already donated a fair bit of money.
Yeah, we
recently
definitely
to
do. Yeah.
Nice.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay. So Salisbury Hospice. That's fantastic.
That's
And now
right.
the only thing left for you to do, and you have
Is
already
to talk-
mentioned.
I know. I can't
Is
believe
that you're a pro dart player?
There's no pro data player.
I thought you said you were a professional.
Not
darts
definitely
player.
not a professional. No.
Saw the darts ball when he came in.
People
and
did
said,
say I look like Luke Humphreys once. So,
"Oh yeah, you did.
yeah, there we are.
Good
I'll
job."
throw that in there.
You do look a little bit like the guy I go to the gym with. Dan Christmas, his name is, and you do look a little bit like. I've told him that before as well. I'm showing a picture. I was like, look.
Yeah.
What's the I keep forgetting. What's the score? Who's that?
What's
Who's
the
Alan
highest
got a
score?
beat on the darts?
Do you know what? This is going to get really annoying if you keep saying it. So you should just stop saying it.
No, I can't remember.
You idiot.
Is it you by any chance?
Yeah.
What
of
is
course
it?
it is. Yeah.
I think
69.
69.
Oh, right.
It's not a great score, but obviously most people
yeah.
miss the dart with one, miss the board with one.
Right,
So then they're looking at needing a.
Basically, I should
Now
be
I'm
top.
tactically thinking, where should I go? You know, do you go straight for ball and
No.
or do you
I
go for triple 20 with the danger of hitting a 1 or a 5?
I think I went.
We've got tactics coming over here. He's going to beat you.
I'm competitive.
No, you do whatever you think. I think mine was 20. I think I got double top, and then I got like 8, and it wasn't like a tradition. It was like I think I got 40, 8, and
Oh
then
no, it was
19 or
just
something.
it was complete luck. That's what it was.
No,
You just
so
threw 3 darts and was like this.
I'm a good darts player, and then I got 100 last week. But it's annoying that
I'm
can't be
feeling
counted.
I'm feeling confident.
All right.
All right.
All Well, thanks,
If I
Chloe.
got
Yeah,
a
thanks
wager
very
for
much.
it. Cheers, guys.
We'll
Thanks,
mention it
everybody.
one more time. Workout Lab.
Workout lab.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
workout lab.
Thank you. Workout lab. Cheers.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was absolutely terrible.
You might be last.
The fact you said you were pro.
Can I have another go?
10 times better.
Can I have another go?
Yes.
Can I have 2 goes?
No.
No.
If I don't beat it this time, I'll donate 100 quid to the charity as well.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Right, come on then.
I love this. Okay.
I will allow
Is it fair
that. We'll allow that. It's charity.
Is that a score though, or is this the score?
No,
You can take that.
if he wins this score, we won't mention it from now, so we'll cut it in if he donates £100 to charity.
It's a pressure. I'm just going to go for ball and hope for the best.
That's
Still not more than you.
yeah. Because he's
63.
63. I was 69.
When we get in the flow of it, we'll need some sort of jingle.
Salisbury Business Podcast. Salisbury Business Podcast.
Whoa, just off the cuff?
Yeah.
Did you just think of that?
What is that though? Why
I'm kidding. It's shit.